Okay, there's a whole bunch of names on here, and not, 1/10 the number of people in the room, and I suspect that a lot of these, they're not even very creative. A lot of these are bogus names that someone put on just to disrupt this meeting. So, given that there are only a few people in the room, I would ask anyone who wishes to speak in this meeting, just make your way to the left side of the room, uh, stage right, house left, and you will be given a chance to speak. Everyone who is here in the room will be given a chance to speak, but I will not read or subject anyone to having to read all of these bogus names. So let's just line up if you're interested in speaking, and we will take folks in the order which they line up. And you can state your name or whatever name you like when you get to the podium.
Good morning. I will stop every 10 seconds to give our translator a time. Is that correct?
So which items would you like to speak to?
All items.
Okay. And if you...
No, like last Tuesday, Bloomingfield told me...
Okay, enough of this. You speak to the items. If you request a translator, we'll do our best to find a translator. Go ahead, sir.
Okay,
you
so
can speak.
You
can speak. No, you don't stop. Just keep going.
So I do not.
Your time
stop.
is running now.
Okay.
We know you're here to disrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I do not stop. That's really weird. Okay. Gab到妹內個妹聲，妹妹有家樣見打妹對，舊個妹過了公報就列些，做了你怪點炸了咪真呀怪就那個咪炸，無那了魔先到小改對，戒罪妹過了我誰內領導，對到你簡單冇真定內。I would like to move on to the next item, which is item number 10. Sayonara nande na iyo Kiyo garami kiwo hazuren da Sayonara ne de na kudeyo Ai ai ni hanare na kuda Sayonara nande na kuiyo Kiyo garami kiwo hazuren da Sayo de me kule gas deyo, ai ai honey, hazu tagulenda. So that is item 9 and 10. So now let's move on to agenda item, the Kevin De Leon item. Is that a Kevin De Leon item, which is De Leon Park? Item number 13. So in this item, it's about the improvement, the safety, community of the Monterey Hills within City Council identify potential safety improvement. I'm here to support our council member De Leon. In this community, if we need more safety, so we have to make sure people are safe on the street. We cannot have this community are having a weekly street takeover. We cannot have this community are women getting robbed in the late evening. So when we're talking about safety improvement, I wish we can have more LAPD officer patrol on the street. Therefore, there's street takeover, there's corporate theft, there's looter, rioter, robbery will no longer have a chance. I'm here to support Councilmember De Leon. I'm here to support all of the street safety program improvement.
And before you begin general public comment, just thank you for identifying the items you're speaking to. So go ahead, you have 1 minute for general public comment.
General public comment. Figueroa 就像爱你奋不顾身 Figueroa 即使摔倒我也不怕 Figueroa 陪你直到地老天荒 Figueroa 拉山你挂 LAPD 勇往直前拉山你挂 LAPD 无坚不摧拉山你挂 LAPD 守护正义拉山你挂Duarte 呀嘎，风里雨里绝不放弃多尔得呀嘎，地狱不空誓不成佛多尔得呀嘎，一生只为保护群众多尔得呀嘎。你的朦胧眼神每分每秒呼唤着我，玫瑰香味漫游到我要闯关你的心中。Kevin De Leon， 你就是我唯一真爱 Kevin De Leon。Support Council Member Kevin De Leon。
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
I'm just doing general public comment.
Okay,
Harriet
so you have-
Elliott, CD 10.
Okay, you have 1 minute.
My son died in 1992. I did a Public Records Act request, and for 7 years I went to the murder, they called it a murder, cold case murder file. And I kept believing that all this time I'm going to get some information. And when they did release it, I was in Panama. I was living in Panama. And I'm reading this, anyway. They actually had a suspect. They never told me they had anyone that was a suspect for murdering my kid. Why wouldn't they do that? It was all a lie. The whole thing is a lie. This guy here, Detective Tinker, says that the person that killed my son was in the party and argued with him. My son had no alcohol and drugs. No alcohol at a party at 10 at night. Okay, that's pretty amazing for a 17-year-old. Anyway, I'm going to the Board of Police Commissioners and telling this on Tuesday.
I was concerned about the City Council approving stars on this Hollywood Walk of Fame. Seems to be a big problem with that. I'm not saying something about Tim Burton, but there's a lot of fake history, people that don't really deserve stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and the City Council's making it worse. There's a large fake history with Tim Burton. I know there's a real guy and then there's a fake guy, and you guys are giving the stars to the fake guy. I don't know. I don't really know about Tim Burton, but I'm saying that there's a lot of celebrities like that. You know that, okay? And there's a lien on number 10 says lien on 148 West 39th Street. You note that to blame the people and not the property. And I would have comments about generally about the developments on those items, those real estate developments on the remaining items, is that there's no Department of City Planning. There's no, I'm directing the city to investigate the state clearinghouse, that's not real, to use full amount of money you need to send the meanest lawyers after the fake state clearinghouse. Also, some of these projects that are in these agenda items are sponsored by the Office of Controller, that something happened at the Office of Controller and they're trying to dump documents on the city, and they're no good. I'm directing the city to investigate that and do a forensic exam on everybody involved if you have to. Make sure you get everybody's information. Several of the agenda items are like somebody in the state thinks they're going to sell real estate and nothing legal about what they're doing. They're committing a crime.
Mr. Harlan, I'm not sure which item you're speaking to, and you've used your 1 minute on item 10, so please move on to one of the other items.
Okay. Beautification by the Conservation Corps, that's really nice. I like people cleaning up. That's fine. General comment?
Okay, so you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
I was concerned about agenda item number 2, the disaster responses. You might have noticed all the villains from the federal government and the television shows jumping into the disaster response. They don't need housing too. Nobody from the United States government comes over here and gets free housing. You know, they stay in the hotel or something. You know what I mean? There's no permanent housing for disaster response. Really, I need some seriously bad law enforcement to go after those guys in there. Agenda item, I'm talking about agenda item number 2. FBI, bad FBI. Ooh boy, FBI, real bad. Jumping in there, not in disaster response, emergency response, but there's also supplies and everything they're looting, you know, stealing tractors and stuff, real bad. Agenda item number 3 is what I'm concerned about. No, you know, crazy people in the state government. There's like 5 Gavin Newsoms impeaching each other, and everybody wants their own controller trying to state clearinghouse stuff, and no, they're dead.
Please
Thank you
begin
very
with
much.
the items. Go ahead.
This more so is for Councilwoman 1 and the council members 1, 14, 13, and 9. I've submitted this request to the city clerk's office, and I have been attempting to follow our city's protocol to communicate with our elected officials who are not making eye contact with me right now. Thank you. Reading the message verbatim says, this campaign was initially launched in mid-June. Since then, we have been unable to effectively speak with any level of our elected regional governments. As we are all aware, the current state of our times are not ideal. Kevin De Leon, I'm talking to you. The effect of our elected officials who is not paying attention is the effect of our elected officials' neglect is what we see right here, and responding has led to inadvertent consequences that were preventable. And this is including and not limited to death of my friends. I tagged you on that post, Miss Eunice Hernandez. I never got a response. Neither representatives of our council districts nor members of our city's administration have collaboratively worked with us to authorize diligent and new community development protocols. I'm not sure if you're aware, but the mental health of our members in this city is not well. The individuals behind me that none of you are paying attention to. This is a direct reflection that any foreign agency, any foreign institution, sir, this is not funny, sir, De Leon, any foreign institution looking at us through these cameras is going to see weakness. Now, I know military,
Speaker, I'm not sure
I
which
know
item
fire
you're speaking to.
department,
I know
I'm
you
not
mentioned
done,
item 11.
so I am going to continue. And this is this is the public comment. This is the 1 minute.
Okay, so you have
However,
1 minute for general public
I did receive
comment. Go ahead.
notice at a public hearing for a new multi-million-dollar dwelling right behind my family home within Council District 14, the case number ZA or HA 2024-2301 CU1HCA. So I'm unable to speak to my council representatives, but lobbyists are able to get forward planning for housing development that should take years, that it's taking weeks. I have been trying to speak to my council members for 3 months. Pertaining to agendas 11 and 12, I have solicited with Council District 1's team, Chief of Staff, and other representatives, including the mayor, for the Value Vocation Academic Leadership Urban Entrepreneur Program. And that is a beautification operation. Ladies, this is not funny. You should really take in mind that people speaking read body language. I was an ABA therapist for over 10 years. If anyone here has kids, I take care of your special needs kids. For 3 years, I was a firefighter for Station 12. Captain Navarro trained me. This is dereliction of duty. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Next speaker.
How I interact.
My name is Najee Ali, Mr. Chairperson, honorable members of the City Council. I'm here only because my name was slandered here a week ago. One thing that Reverend Jesse Jackson told me 30 years ago, you can't be an activist if you have thin skin. So I have thick skin, believe me. I've never addressed these false accusations of me being a wife beater, a rapist, which is just nonsense. But I'm here today just to set the record once and for all here in front of everyone. I've never hit my wife. A City Hall investigation was done by Jeff Gurrell, and she told him that never happened. Second thing, falsely arrested 40 years ago. I'm 61 for a crime I never even committed and was released. So when people say, oh, he's a rapist, they don't tell the part, oh, well, he was falsely arrested and released. No charges, never went to court. So I just wanted to just put that out there for everyone to hear.
Speaker, your time
and in
has
my closing,
expired.
the same.
Speaker, your time has expired. We need to move on to the next speaker. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
All items in public comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for public comment. Go ahead with the items.
Okay. Anyway, let's talk about the Tim Burton and the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Yes. I like these things at 6600 Hollywood Boulevard. Why? Because it's a great way, the Jimmy Swaggart way, to have the prostitutes, instead of walking up and down the street, hey, meet me over there at 6600 Hollywood Boulevard, the Tim Burton star. It's a great locator. I mean, I'm surprised we didn't think of this earlier. After all, we know he can't go home to his wife. He can't stand strange. So we have to have prostitutes, and what better place than Hollywood to have these streetwalkers, just for the good reverend. Now, let's go to another item. I see one of your liens, you actually did a $3,029.02 reduction. I can't believe. What's going on? Is there a sickness going on that you actually quit fucking over the people and actually letting them work the liens out? I just can't believe it, but it's happening, that you actually are kind of doing something right. Now we have this overdose awareness. Come on, folks. We could really spend our money better than that. Maybe actually helping people that are overdosing, and maybe some more Narcan or whatever to counteract the fentanyl. I met a homeless person, and later I bumped into her former boyfriend, and yes, she had died of fentanyl, and her mouth was foamed and everything else. Real gross thing. But maybe we should be showing pictures of things like that so people know what they look like. We're actually going to do something in Council District 1. I can't believe Mr. Lee's actually in on this. Unisys does a decent job. Gets things done, as well as that is a neglected district. I live in North Hollywood and in the Sun Valley end, and that's neglected. So I know what it's like when you live in a neglected area. You don't get your stuff like they do in Encino or Woodland Hills or Brentwood or all the highfalutin areas. You know, you just get fucked. That's all there is to it. But I'm glad that, after all, if Cedillo was still on there, he'd be out getting his dick wet and not doing a thing. So Unisys is a
Speaker, you need to stick to the agenda items, or I'm going to move you to general public comment.
Well, we're talking about District 1, and District 1 getting stuff done, and who's the workhorse and who is the show horse. There's a big difference in LA, and we're a town mainly of show horses, not workhorses. So someone who gets his dick wet like Cedillo is a show horse. Now,
right.
Let's go
general
to
public
comment.
comment.
Okay. We have, guess who's running for mayor again? Yes, Tony Viller. That's his Christian-born name from his Catholic Church of False Doctrines. He doesn't like to lose more often, but guess what? Maybe he shouldn't run. In his 8 years, he did only 2 things right. He defeated Jim Hahn, the worst fucking mayor we ever had, even worse than Frank Shaw, who got recalled during the 30s. And he removed Rick Caruso from the police commission. I mean, is that a record worth making somebody governor? Are you really kidding me, folks? I mean, the other Tony Thurman's probably more qualified than Tony Viller. Now, our leading, that Eleni broad, she's one of those billboard broads, gets free billboards just like Monica Rodriguez or Mommy Barger or Lindsay Horvath. I mean, she probably has a better chance, but old Tony, he gonna lose her. Boy, he gonna lose a bigger.
Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Yes, go ahead. You have 3 minutes for the items first.
Item number 1, Public Works Committee report.
So item number 1 is not open for public comment.
What's up on the board, fool?
If you were listening earlier in the meeting, which you were here for,
number 9, asshole.
Go ahead.
Number 9. 69 you. Number 9. Now, number 9, communication from a dick engineer regarding Tim Burton and Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, right? However, the Walk of Fame is a walk of shame because you dumb niggers don't know how to present a star like this. This is a star. This is a true star. However, the Walk of Fame for Mr. Burton Let us acknowledge it. Where is Burton? Why didn't he come to his own presentation? Because he says, fuck you. These guys are morons. I ain't going to waste my time with Soto Martinez or that other dumb buckethead. Right, Pumpkin? Now let me go to number 10, Pumpkinhead. Fuck number 10 and fuck 39th Street Council District 9 because it's a conflict of interest because Current Price goes to court Thursday of the following week. And by the way, Kevin DeLeon, that was a mighty fine couple of good hugs you gave earlier in that presentation.
You need to stick to the agenda items or I'm going to move you to general public comment.
Now,
So this is your only warning.
Item number awareness of overdose. LA is the capital of overdose. Why is that? Because niggers don't pay attention to what's happening on our streets. Any one of you, smoking scam, smoking scant, go to Skid Row with your bag of huff and show the world what that shithole fentanyl is doing to the Skid Row population because the juju speaker up there doesn't want to make it an awareness. He wants people to overdose. He wants people to fucking die on our fucking streets at a fucking time when we know it's all fucked up. Dumb motherfucker. Then the last item with my 21 seconds, you jackass. CD1. Oh, no, I'm not going to talk about Miss Hernandez. We got it clear on the record. We're friends. And friends don't fuck friends. Friends understand friends. And that's the reason why Public Works should make corrections.
General public comment.
All I want to do is understand why you're dragging me down. I guess it's a time to bury your ass with bam fuck me, right? I'm all out. I'm not the enemy. I want to wake up everything because everything is fucked. Everybody sucks. You do not really know. You're the best is the bet is to stay away from a motherfucker growing up in the city of LA. Oh yeah, stay away, motherfuckers. It's just one of those days. Limp Bizkit, another fucked up day, and another fucked up way, and another fucked up place, and another fucked up job, and another fucked up city just like LA. So if you don't fuck around and you don't act like a clown, then maybe Pumpkinhead will stop fucking with my time.
Next speaker.
We have one more speaker.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Grand Rising, everyone on City Council. I wanted to address agenda items 11 and 12, and I also wanted to make public comment.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead and start with the items.
Is that 3 minutes in total?
It's 3 minutes in total, but you can only speak on the items 1 minute per item each. So we'll remind you if you get to that point. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So my concern with regards to the overdose awareness, there's currently a homeless crisis in Los Angeles. This is being addressed by Mayor Karen Bass's Inside Safe program, and it's overseen by Christopher Vargas. One of the agencies contracted to provide services is the Weingart Center Association in connection with LASA and DHS. Prior to July 31st, 2024, the Weingart Center Association was housing its participants in the LA Grand, where they were to reside until demobilization to the Mayfair was complete, unless they would be housed in the Weingart Tower or elsewhere.
So, Speaker, you're welcome to continue during general on this topic if you'd like, but if you want to speak up to item 12, please switch now for the items.
With regards to the Los Angeles Conservation Corps, I think that these two items that I'm speaking to all tie into the same thing, because the primary goal here is to reduce harm and the amount of trauma that the individuals, the homeless individuals, are incurring in the city, and I feel like that's the overall premise. So as I was saying, a lot of the participants were unlawfully ejected on or before June 28th, 2024, and their personal property and or possessions destroyed and or improperly.
You have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
And or improperly trespassed upon, thereby placing many homeless people who were already housed in a more vulnerable and precarious position than they initially were. In effect, being more homeless than they were before, if that's possible. No consideration, again, for harm reduction or the impact of trauma. All things considered, a tort claim was brought to the attention of the city attorney present here today, and said claim was denied, offset instead to be filed as a county tort due to LASS's involvement, as if the city's Inside Safe program was not the umbrella under which all these programs exist. The billions of dollars from HUD were presented to the city of Los Angeles, and something needs to be done immediately in order to rectify these egregious acts and make these participants whole again before a huge class action lawsuit is filed against all parties involved. Thank you.
Item 9 should be renamed the Walk of Shame and should receive a no vote if indicted embezzling criminal Kern Price and unelected Heather Hutt are allowed to vote. This Walk of Shame item should include additional funding from the city to include a Walk of Fame or Shame Star at this location for Kern Price and Sleazy Dawson's legendary corruption. Item 10 is by indicted polygamous embezzler Kern Price for placing a city lien on a citizen's property in the amount of $3,629.02 instead of doing something to assist this property owner. This item should receive a no vote because I believe it is another criminal act of embezzlement by Kern Price and Petty Pink Face Krikorian to funnel the money into Kern Price and Dawson's family businesses. These clowns are placing city liens on this and other citizens' properties while there are 60,000 homeless people on our streets. Item 12 for $665,000 for beautification and cleanup of should receive a no vote. In the motion, we worked to assist elderly and disabled citizens to pay rent, and because indicted embezzling criminal Kern Price and unelected incompetent Heather Hutt will be voting. The $600,000 of this motion is a testament of the LA City Council being the most corrupt LA government in the history of the U.S. General public comment.
Go ahead, you have 1 minute.
Sleazy Council. Yes, general comment. LA Council is the most corrupt local government in the history of the United States, where petty pink-faced Armenian dictator Paul Ku Klux Krikorian has indicted beveling polygamous criminal Kern Price and Sleazy Dawson, voting daily with unelected Heather Hutt. The Black community, again, has zero representation from these incompetent, corrupt, sellout, self-serving, indicted Black Uncle Tom criminal members of this corrupt city council. I demand all their resignations. I demand the resignation of petty pink-faced corrupt Krikorian. Of course, he's on his way out. Public Black faces occupy 20% of the sleazy council, yet Black people are nearly 50% of the homeless, 50% of the incarcerated, 50% of the unemployed. Their resignations are demanded. Thank you.
Okay, next caller.
Like always, brother. So the other day I was down on Figure Road with this chick, and I was trying to do a man load layup in her mouth there, and I was wondering about the 2-for-1s we have down there.
Okay, so this is not on topic.
Yes,
this is your only warning. Please stick to the agenda items. I'm going to move you to general public comment.
Yes, sir. So I can't talk about this lady down on Figure Road and the 2-for-1 issue we were having there the other night.
So you know the rules. You call in every meeting. Please stick to the items or I'm going to move you to general public comment. Go ahead.
Really? Well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead and move in there, brother. There.
Okay, you have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Thank you there, brother. Shout out to the smoke can community. Anyway, as I was saying, I was down on Figueroa the other day, and this chick, I was rolling with my homie or whatever, and this chick, I was, I was doing my usual thing there, enjoying myself there, and I was trying to figure out she had a problem, she wanted me to split. She wanted me to spend more than 5 for the two of us.
So,
she wouldn't, go
caller,
down.
again,
yes,
we
sir.
have this discussion almost every meeting. You need to tie it to something within the subject matter jurisdiction of this of the city. Otherwise, you're going to forfeit your time. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, I was just wondering, how it's amazing how we can, put a man on the moon, but we can't get a hold of, split $5 worth of hand job. Me and my boy the other day down there on Figueroa.
So you've been warned again, just for future meetings and today. You need to speak to items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of this city.
And
you are not
and
on
y'all
topic,
don't deal with
even
the
in general public
Figueroa?
comment. So, okay, so you forfeited your time. Next caller.
Generals gathered in the masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, source of death's construction. Good afternoon, you pieces of shit, elite communist war pigs, who just sit on their asses and collect over $200,000 a year in your mansions, while the rest of us just fight for crumbs. Why you do nothing because you don't want to fix any problems. You need to justify your jobs. And Mao would be so proud of you, redcoats. And Jinping with his micro penis would just love you and accept you. You are pieces of shit, and you know it, you communist war pigs.
Okay, next caller. Actually, while we're waiting for the next caller, Mr. Herman, please do not disrupt the other callers. Next caller.
Bob Blumenfield's disruptive behavior. We had him earlier this week interrogating a speaker, asking about their language because he wanted to go back and translate. And when that speaker came up today and asked about interpretation services, an entirely reasonable question, they were reprimanded and told they were being disruptive. All this talk about language access and somebody coming up and merely asking about interpretation services is disruptive. Not a good look for the white boy representing the West Valley. I mean, we just getting through the Fed tapes, all this cloud of racism. Do we have to really go back to John Papash sitting on the phone with NC members talking about the Latinos coming in, and then there goes the neighborhood? There are those tapes as well. Interesting, Bob.